What's up, YouTube? Quick update on the builds. This video is not about the 83 Ford, which is doing well. I'm probably gonna take it wheeling either tomorrow night or Saturday, so expect a new video soon. But this one is about a 1984, 5, or 6 CUCV M1009. Here she is. I know if you're back at home right now and you're saying, dude, why are you getting a second project vehicle when you can't take care of your first? This one was given to me for free. So this was from a cousin that I've got who lives in St. Simons, and he knew that I was working on the Ford, and I've kind of been, I just told him, I said, hey, if you ever decide to sell this thing, because I've been looking at it for years. He said, if you ever decide to sell it, let me know first and I'll give you an offer. I said, I don't know if I can give you what it's worth, but I'll definitely give you an offer. I was thinking $1,500 or $2,000. And anyway, I was on a family vacation and he just texted me and said, hey, I'm trying to downsize some stuff. If you want it, come pick it up, it's yours. And let me tell you, she's a little bit rusty, but runs good and has a good transmission too. It's actually recently rebuilt, so it's got the Turbo 400. It was parked next to his house in St. Simons, which, if you don't know, is close to Savannah on the coast of Georgia. And anyway, this side actually looks good. He typically had it backed into his driveway, and the ocean was facing the other side. So the ocean breeze would come and hit the passenger side of the vehicle, which you're about to see. And so here is the passenger side. The rust is obviously a little bit worse right there, but here's where it's really ate up. The rockers are rough. And then we've got this right here. This is where the radio mount was. I think water built up from the radio mount right here. And then any water that built up in this little spot went all the way down here and just eventually ate through it. As bad as the rust looks though, when you actually get down and take a look at the frame is clean. That's original paint on the frame. And there's a few spots like that the rust is shining through a little bit, but the frame is good. Here's a little bit more. Yeah, there's the frame right there. It's pretty clean. The stuff that matters from a structural perspective is all sound. We'll take a look at the inside real quick. So here's the interior. It's strange because the rockers are rough, but the floor itself, this is like some sort of, I don't know, coating, but underneath that it's good. That's just dirt right there. It's not rust. And the interior is like all pretty good outside of just the rockers and spots like that and spots like that. The passenger seat is original. This one's been replaced at some point, and it's weird. This one leans back. It doesn't lock into place like it's supposed to. I may swap these out. A little switcheroo, just so I can drive it around and then get, look at eBay and get a replacement. But it's pretty slick. Cool thing about these CUCVs is it just has all this information on the door about shipping it, about the tie down points, etc. If you've ever been to air assault school, well, if you went to air assault school in probably the 90s, you're probably intimately familiar with these. Spare tire in the back, and I bought some spare rocker panels for the passenger and the driver's side. So expect that update soon. And then like the seat back here, it's pretty nice. It's a little bit of mold on it right now, but she's not bad. You've also got terminal blocks back here. You got positive and neutral. This is 12 volts right here. If you want to hook up any accessories, my cousin hooked up, as you can see right here, an aftermarket radio. This thing also has an aftermarket cup holder. It's pretty slick, as well as just some odds and ends here, like in the coin holder. Hold on. You got like screws from the dash probably. And you've also got some 5.56 rounds, or 5.56 casings. Four-wheel drive, obviously, and she's pretty slick. It's a diesel, And let me pop the hood so you can see a little bit more. All right, so now that the hood is popped, you can see this is the 6.2 liter Detroit diesel motor, and it's pretty cool. I'm currently missing both batteries. This actually has two 12-volt batteries, one here and one here, and they are run in series so that you can also power the starter of this vehicle, which is 24 volts, and the slave receptacles, which are in the front and the rear. For those who don't know, like, imagine that you're driving in a convoy through Vietnam and the vehicle in front of you suddenly dies. You're in a really tough spot. So what the Army does, or just the military in general does to avoid that, is receptacles in the front and rear of the vehicles that are all 24 volts. So here's your slave receptacle in the front, and you hook up the cable to it, you plug it directly into the rear bumper of the vehicle in front of you, and you can start it. So this has 24 wired to it. The starter, which is down there, has 24 wired to it, coming off this positive and neutral terminal block. And the rear also has its own receptacle, again, for the same reason. This is it right here for the purpose of jump starting a vehicle that could have died behind you. Or if your vehicle dies, use the vehicle behind it. So because of that, you've got two 12-volt batteries. They're wired in series. And again, they power these terminal blocks back here. You got your positive and you've got your neutral right there. And then the rest of this vehicle, the lights, the headlights, the dash lights, the horn, is all powered by 12 volts. I've got a couple leaks here as well. I don't exactly know. I think it's the gearbox down there that's leaking. I might have a slight diesel leak as well, and this radiator needs to be replaced. It'll start and drive though, as long as you just don't get the temps too high. It's no problem. I've driven around the block a couple times just to test out the alternators. The alternators were rebuilt, and then I think I fried them in the I blew the regulators in them when I was jump starting the vehicle. So the alternators are being rebuilt for a second time at a place in Auburn. I'll be picking those up next week. This thing's pretty slick though. This is a nice little vehicle. One of my favorite things about it is just the back of it. Once you roll the rear window down, I already rolled it down, but there's the window. Then you can reach inside and pop this latch right here. And once you do that, you've got access to the back of this, and it's just a ton of space. Again, I've got just some parts sitting in here right now. I've got the two rocker panels that I know of a guy who can weld these for me because I don't have any of that expertise or the equipment. And then I also have the battery right there. I'm sorry, the battery tray for the front of the vehicle. Also just a spare tire, which is pretty cool. In the front here, the battery tray that's sitting right here, it's a little bit rusted out. I had to zip tie this corner just to keep it from collapsing on itself. And if you look right over here, you'll see that it's totally separated from the radiator support just from rust over the years. And so before I swap that radiator out, or just right around the same time, I'm also probably going to swap out this inner fender, this fender, because of that right there, and the radiator support, just because of that one spot down there, and the radiator as well. Another cool thing about this vehicle is the infrared capabilities. So up front right here, we've got an infrared light. We've got an infrared beam right here, which is designed to give you a little bit more, it shines a light so you can see it if you're behind the wheel with your nods on. And then right here is another infrared light. The idea, and there's also two on the back bumper as well. The idea is that if you are in the driver's seat and it's nighttime and you want to be stealthy as you can be in a 6.2 liter diesel, which I will say is quieter than some vehicles, but still a diesel. You can come back here and turn blackout drive on. And when you do that, all of these lights right here, all of the infrared lights are going to turn on. And the only way you can see the vehicle in front of you, assuming it's pitch black dark, the only way you can see the vehicle in front of you and behind you is if you're wearing night vision goggles and you're in the driver's seat. So that's when you flip down your nods and this headlight turns on. I guess it's a headlight, but the idea is that this has enough of a beam that you can see in front of you using only infrared. Anybody who's used a PEC 15 on an M4 before knows that infrared can be very bright at night. even though it can't be seen by the naked eye, it's pretty cool to be able to find something at night using only your M4's infrared strobe. So yeah, again, this little Florida National Guard vehicle, it's lived a pretty tough life so far. It's got some rust, but we're gonna bring it back, and I'd like to use this as a daily driver someday, because this thing is just so cool. I think another really cool aspect of this vehicle is just the back of it. Once you roll this window down, you can reach inside and pop this handle. Once you pop that handle, you can get access to the back of the vehicle. You got a spare tire back here, and it's just a lot of space. It's a nice little tailgate that you can sit on. They don't make SUVs like this anymore, and it's really cool to see this being this useful as a truck. I've got the rocker sitting right here. Expecting in a video soon for me to be working on some of this rust and getting it under control. So that's all I've got right now. Expect some updates in the future as I turn this thing into a daily driver / hunting vehicle. I might try to test out the infrared capabilities by borrowing some nods from the armory. We'll see. But yep, this old Florida National Guard vehicle from the 144th Transport Company is she's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice vehicle. Again, shout out to my cousin Tommy for giving me this thing. He signed the title over to me, and I'm very excited to have it. It's been a lot of fun working on it. It's pretty, the wiring is difficult, but everything else about it seems very easy. It does have glow plugs. It's the first time I've had to get used to that and having to wait for them to warm up before you can turn it over. But it's a nice little vehicle. He's got some nice tires on it too. I believe 2 of them. Yeah, this one might be a little dry rotted too. I might have to swap that out soon. But kind of thinking about doing a 1-ton axle swap on it. Throw some 1-ton axles and throw some Humvee tires. I've watched some other YouTube videos about these old M1008s and 1-ton axles, Humvee tires. Like, you can turn this thing into just an absolute ripper. So let me know if there's anything I messed up in this video, or if you were in the 144th Transport Company in the 80s and used to drive this thing. Let me know if it's been properly PMCS'd. I'm assuming the answer is no. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. While I've been filming this video, this one has just been napping. Look at this little gremlin.